All right, we continue to follow this breaking news. Just minutes ago, a jury reached a verdict in the case against Christopher McLawhorn.
Guilty on all 5 counts in the brutal stabbing death of nurse Tiffany Ferguson.
Let's get right out to Matthew Torres, who has been following this trial since the beginning. Matthew.
Well, Rory, the jury barely deliberated for more than 2 hours in this case, but when they came back in, we had more than 20 of Ferguson's family and friends waiting. As soon as the verdict came down, it was an emotional moment.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Christopher Drew McLawhorn, as to count 1, guilty of especially aggravated burglary. As to count 2, guilty of first-degree murder during the commission of another crime. As to count 3, guilty first-degree premeditated murder. As to count 4, guilty theft of property of the value of $1,000 or less. And as to count 5, guilty theft of property of value of $1,000 or less.
You heard it right there. After 4 days of trial, the jury found Christopher McLawhorn once again guilty in all 5 counts. Those charges are especially aggravated burglary, felony murder, first-degree premeditated murder, and 2 counts of theft, which are under $1,000. You may have been able to hear it. You heard the audible gasp and even just emotional moments once again from family and friends of Tiffany Ferguson, the 23-year-old Nashville nurse who was brutally stabbed to death last February in 2017, and especially when they said guilty on the first-degree murder charge, that is when you heard her identical twin sister, really the audible sound of her almost just crying. And as soon as they broke away, as soon as McLawhorn was taken out of the courtroom, that's when you saw all of the family and friends hugging each other, hugging the prosecutors, even the lead detective in this case. And so far today, we also heard from a different detective who really just went into deep information about what was on McLawhorn's phone. This was brought up last minute to the jury. They were able to see what he was searching, but once again, what he has now been accused of since March of last year. He has been convicted of killing Tiffany Ferguson. And so we're just outside of the courtroom. We're hoping to hear now from one of the prosecutors, at least Pam Anderson, who gave one of the closing arguments, and she is behind me. And it sounds like she is getting ready now to give us a press statement alongside the other prosecutor in this case.